All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to part two. We got cut off there by Zoom, but we are back for part
What do you
two.
want for free?
Welcome back, Chuck.
Thanks. So we're talking about criminals using Bitcoin, and
Yes.
one point I want to make using history back in Prohibition in the history books. I wasn't there. I don't think you were there.
Nope.
Uh, the government made alcohol illegal, and then you had all these moonshiners and booze runners and all that. And you could say that it was good for us because hot rods came out of that and vehicle modifications and a lot of cool stuff came out of that. But once they made it illegal, then they created an opportunity for criminals to make money. So there was always criminal operations before that, but now it's illegal. Now they can make real money. And so they grew, their enterprises grew. Once the US government made it legal again, excuse me, made it legal again, pretty much you don't hear about Machine Gun Kelly or all those mob bosses and stuff. The mob still exists and they still did stuff, but that was like the good times of being a criminal. Like they could make money hand over fist. And then when it was made legal, then it was no more. You could say the same thing has happened with Bitcoin on the money side of things. Not necessarily the drugs and all that stuff's illegal, but the crime organizations have really come into their own using Bitcoin to fund their operations. So what do you think about that?
So are you saying that Bitcoin should be illegal?
What I'm saying is that Bitcoin is under the purview or under the eye of the government. So you can send money to me across the world, all that. We don't have to answer to anybody.
Awesome.
And that's all well and good until criminals start using it. So what I'm saying is there's maybe it's not soon or maybe it's not ever, but at some point somebody's going to have to answer for that, and somebody's going to have to put processes in place to prevent that kind of thing. Like they say that a lot of the funding that Ukraine has received has gone to criminal operations and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm getting that third hand, so don't take me on that. But Ice Road, or what was it, not Ice Road, but Silk Road was a good example of an operation run using Bitcoin as for funding. Oh, so what's your take on that?
I don't care. I don't care about criminals
Okay.
using it. To me, that proves that it's valuable. The just one thing, like I said, criminals use vehicles, criminals use guns, criminals use hammers. I find all those things useful as well. Criminals wear pants. I'm not going to
Okay,
stop
well,
wearing
but
pants.
I don't think your argument really holds merit
Criminals
because
use things.
the,
They're
the guns
humans
the
that
guns are
use
tracked
things.
for the most part. The guns are tracked.
And of course,
The
authorities
the
will
vehicles
put
are
things in
tracked.
place to try to corral these things. That they put things in place, serial numbers, things like that. There's chain
Mhm,
analysis. They'll do things like that.
mhm.
But me personally, I'm not in favor of any of that stuff. I say let the free
Okay,
market decide.
okay. So when the criminals come knocking on your door because they've been funded, so now they've got unlimited money because Bitcoin can just
Unlimited. Well, there's only
let them.
21 million, so let's be clear.
Well, but what you're saying is you say it. I agree. I disagree with that, but
Well, you can
okay.
look at the code.
Okay. Well, there's never going to just be 21 million. Okay, so let's just say that that's just not
Well,
the way
for
it's going to be.
Bitcoin, there's
But
only
but
21
you're
million.
changing the subject.
But if there's a
You're changing the
fork,
subject.
there would be more. Look, I have to
Okay.
defend myself. I have to defend my family. I'm not going to be calling the cops and say, "Hurry up and get here," while I hide in my room. Right? I
Yeah.
mean, I probably
The
will
thing is,
call the cops, but I also have to be prepared to defend myself. I have to be
so
physically
you're
fit,
okay
and I have
with
to have.
criminal organizations being funded through
No,
Bitcoin?
I don't prefer it. I'm not happy about it, but I don't say we should stop the technology and disallow everyone else to use it because criminals use it.
I never said that either. I never
Okay.
said that either.
Well, then what's
Uh,
the point?
all I'm saying, what my point is, it's a bane to society. It's being used criminally for these organizations to fund themselves, get stronger, get more powerful, and that's not a good thing. Okay, and what I'm saying is because there's no oversight, because you can send me whatever money you want for whatever reason, the that's not a good thing.
That's
There
a
has to be
feature to
some
me.
oversight.
That's an extremely good thing for me. And if you're in favor of
Okay.
oversight and authority, that's fine. I'm sure that will be attempted to come, and a lot of people do agree with that. But personally, me, I am not in favor of authority and oversight.
Okay, because you don't have a drug organization running out of your backyard, right? What happens if it comes into your neighborhood? I mean, I don't know where you live, but
Wouldn't
it's
they
obvious
just
you
use
got
cash? Why would they use Bitcoin where everything's time stamped? Wouldn't they just use cash?
because nobody's tracking it. Bitcoin goes across um, borders really nicely. Cash is a problem.
So you're
You
talking
got
about
these
global drug organization happening in my backyard?
any anything,
That's
yeah,
local. They're
these
using cash locally. They're using cash.
you don't know that. Silk Road wasn't using cash, and
Well,
it
that
could have been
because
happening in your backyard.
that wasn't in my backyard. That was on the internet.
Well, it could have been you didn't know, but maybe one of the kingpins was your next door neighbor, right? You don't know. You don't
Well,
know
he
what's
didn't cause
happening
me any
behind closed
trouble.
doors.
I don't mind if he's doing drugs in his own personal life. That's okay.
Okay. Yeah. Well, until he brings the shady operation there, like then you got all these shady people,
Right.
drug addicted people are unpredictable, and now you got four walls. But guess what? Those four walls are easily penetrated by bullets.
So I don't understand though. What's the solution though in your mind?
The solution is not using oversight of Bitcoin is the solution that doesn't exist right now. But oversight, just like the banking and the institutions, might get there. But the problem, I don't have to have a solution. You need the solution.
Well,
I'm just complaining about the product.
Well, that's going to happen anyway. You're saying that the institution, that's a threat. You were saying that the institutions will take over Bitcoin and control Bitcoin. That is a threat. Mm-hmm. So now you're saying that they need to. Okay, it's a promise. So there you go. It'll work itself out. You use it as an example, as a threat, as a bad thing that'll happen. And now you're saying happened. It has to happen. Right. It's in the process of happening.
Well, no, the drugs and illegal operations happening on Bitcoin has already happened. It's already happening.
I'm sure.
What I'm saying is it's happening on your network. And I don't need a solution. I'm just calling a spade a spade. It's happening. And I don't think that's a good thing. So you're okay with the Mujahideen or the ISIS or whatever, or what's happening in your backyard? I don't know. Bad people.
If someone drives a car to rob a bank or commit a crime, that's not going to make me not want to drive a car to go to the store and get my groceries. Same thing with Bitcoin. If someone uses Bitcoin to commit a crime or buy drugs, it's not going to make me want to stop using Bitcoin.
Okay. I don't know if your argument is valid because you're sitting in your nice, little house in your nice little neighborhood where you don't have anything going on. You don't really have anything to compare it to. Like you haven't been in East LA, or you haven't been in a war-torn area, or
I've
you haven't been.
I've been in areas.
Okay.
But what's the point? So they use cash.
Your point is that what if those Bin Laden and all those fools or other people? What if the 9/11 hijackers were funded by Bitcoin? Is that okay with you?
No, it's not okay with me. But it doesn't mean we should ban Bitcoin.
That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't mean we should ban Bitcoin. Should we ban planes? They used a plane to crash into a building. Should we ban planes?
Look, planes are already. There's already been changes to security, and there's already been supposed fixes, and that they caught us with our pants down. The fact is that they can currently and have probably used Bitcoin to fund their operations, and I don't need to have a solution. I can just complain about it, right? I'm just the idiot in the office in the Philippines that points out a problem. Okay, you're saying that it's no problem, it's fine. We don't need to track criminals.
It just doesn't make sense if a criminal uses a product to just banish a product. A criminal can bash you over the head with this bottle. That doesn't mean I shouldn't drink out of this bottle.
Your argument doesn't make any sense.
Well,
right?
criminals use tools. We don't ban tools because criminals use it.
I didn't say ban. Okay, where did I say ban?
What do you want? Oversight, right? You want oversight?
I don't want anything. I'm just pointing out a fact. The fact is that criminal organizations will and will continue to use Bitcoin.
Okay,
to further
I agree that's a fact. Criminals use Bitcoin. Okay. Can you agree that criminals use motor vehicles?
So what?
Is that a fact? Yes
they
or no?
can't. They're furthering their operations.
Yeah, they drive. It's a lot further and quicker than walking.
So what? They're driving their $5 million car to go run over people. I mean,
No,
come
they
on,
drive the
dude.
pickup
No, you're
trucks.
funding their training. You're funding their purchasing and selling of goods. That's different than a vehicle, man. That's
Bitcoin's a
a
tool. It could
vehicle
be used
is
for
a
good or
transportation.
evil. It's just a
Yeah,
tool.
no, you're simplifying it way. You don't really understand the big picture here.
What it is, it's a
Millions and
tool.
millions of dollars make a big difference in somebody's abilities, training, and otherwise. Their ability to purchase high value weapons, their ability to learn, their ability to do whatever. All that takes money, and money is gathered and developed via Bitcoin per your admission. So I don't need to provide a solution. I'm providing the problem.
Okay, so the problem is criminals use Bitcoin, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we can
All right.
agree, we can both agree that criminals use Bitcoin, and that's that.
All
You
right,
hate it.
cool.
I don't
That's the
mind it.
third thing of my choice,
Okay.
my talk.
All right,
I've
we're
converted you.
agreeing. We're
Third
agreeing.
item on my talk that you said that there none of it was true except for one thing. Now wait, all right,
All right, we're
sweet.
getting there.
All right,
You're
we're
winning
making
me
progress.
over.
All right, cool.
You're
All
winning
right,
me over.
let's talk about the exchanges.
Okay.
Now,
That's not Bitcoin, but okay.
the exchanges, you have to use the exchange in order to get your money in and out. Do you agree?
I disagree.
You have to use an exchange to turn Bitcoin into fiat, and at this time, you can't buy anything
I
with Bitcoin.
disagree.
Ah, okay.
You
So
don't
you didn't
have
use it
to.
in exchange. You didn't use an exchange. I mean, maybe you got a person, okay, but pretty
Exactly.
much everybody is going to be using an
It's popular.
exchange.
A lot of people do use it, but it's not a necessity, and it's certainly
Okay.
not Bitcoin.
Okay. So your tiny argument is still that tiny. Okay. So vast majority of Bitcoin going in and out. Look at FTX. Look at Sam Bankman-Fried. How much money did he have under his control based on how many transactions he had running through his exchange, right? So he
It's
had a
not Bitcoin,
shitload of
though. It's
money.
not Bitcoin.
But it's an exchange. It could be a Bitcoin. You don't know what it was. It could have been any currency, digital currency flowing through there, right? So you can't say it wasn't Bitcoin. So
So
what's your argument?
my argument is, so any business or company that uses cash and crashes or commits fraud, that's a bad mark on the dollar.
You don't know where I was going with that. So where I was going with that was all these exchanges exist. They're running out of somebody's basement. They're running out of a data center. Who knows? Who knows what the security is, right? But would you agree on that?
Sure. I don't know much about
Okay.
exchanges, nor do I
There's
think about them or care about them much because
there,
it's not
okay.
Bitcoin.
Okay. But you have to use an exchange to get money in and out of digital currency. Unless
False.
you know somebody that wants to buy your crap, which nobody wants to buy your crap. Okay.
Well,
It's
there's
not
peer
baseball
to
cards.
peer, but either way, you could just use Bitcoin straight up. And if you need fiat, you can find ways. But right, it's easier. Let's just say it's easier and more popular to use an exchange. I'll agree to that.
Okay. So the vast majority of people that are not hardcore nerds like you, they're going to be
Yes.
using an exchange. Okay.
Yes.
So let's call the spade a spade. All
Yeah.
right. So the vast majority of people that use fiat currency are not nerds like you. And so they're going to use a bank. Okay. So let's be realistic here. So those exchanges, is there anything preventing them from having security vulnerabilities on their exchange, or do they have to go through any kind of oversight? Is there communities that get together and say, all right, this exchange is popped up. It's called Mount Gox, and everybody is going to be using it to transfer their money into
It's a
in
honeypot.
order to
All
get.
central businesses, all central exchanges, data leaks, take your information in, Sony, Target, Walmart, all these companies,
Exactly.
they're it's a problem. This is one of the things that Bitcoin solves. It's decentralized. You don't need to give all your information to an exchange or a company. You can use Bitcoin peer to peer.
Okay, but we've already agreed that most people are not going to do that. So
Well,
you
they don't do
can.
it yet, but they will eventually do it as they
Okay.
learn and all these FTXs continue to happen. Mt. Gox,
Okay.
FTX, like you mentioned, they continue to crash and people lose their Bitcoin. They're going to learn eventually, and they'll use
No, they're
Bitcoin peer to
not.
peer.
They're going to learn not to use Bitcoin. They're not going
That's
to. I mean,
possible.
you got the that's the problem is I'm going to create you a solution right here.
All right.
Because you don't want me to just complain about problems. You want me to solve them too, apparently. So here's your problem. The banking industry has oversight for their IT related functionality. You have PCI compliance. You have yada yada yada. I don't know all of them, but there are rules and insurances cover that. Like if you want your insurance company to cover you, you've got to have some type of security compliance, yada, yada, yada. You're dealing with money. We've already talked about the 10 boneheads running Bitcoin. And we've already seen numerous examples of exchanges going to crap. So the solution is your community needs to get together and say, you're not going to run an exchange unless it meets X, Y, and Z. You know, that might sound like an easy
I'm fine
fix,
with
but
that.
you said it's decentralized.
Bitcoin.
So
You're mixing Bitcoin and exchanges.
Well, no, yeah, the currency is decentralized, right? So if you're going to use exchanges to get people to use it, because that's the big marketing thing, right?
It is.
It's all Super Bowl ads. You got to get the dummies in, right? You got to get the dummies in. You're not the dummy, right? You're an advanced user, but you're still beholden to the same uh, bad press problems related to it that could affect the value of your currency when compared to fiat. Like you say you don't care about it. No, I don't care about it either.
Well, I mean, you can't stop it. You know, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
You can stop it. You can stop it. You can control it at least. There's no controls in place. You can insure your exchange, which they say they have cash
But
on hand
we don't need
to
an
their
exchange
assets.
though. We don't need exchanges.
You got to have it. Well, look.
Maybe in the beginning, right now, we need it, but eventually, they'll be a thing of the past.
Okay, but see, that's the thing. Like you always have these responses that don't really hold water.
Well, because it's hard to take something from today and predict it out into the future.
Yeah, but that doesn't
we just
really
have
count.
Two different views.
Because we're living in today. We're living in today. Today we're using exchanges.
We're living in today, right? So I shouldn't exercise and try to gain muscle for tomorrow. We're living in today. I should just eat whatever I want.
No, come on, man.
Well, we're living in today.
Well, yeah, you can plan for the future. Just like I don't have to work anymore. Just like I don't have to work anymore, right? I did some work in the Middle East. I don't have to work anymore, right? I'm done working. So I plan for tomorrow. Obviously, you plan for tomorrow. That's what I'm trying to present to you. You've got a problem with exchanges, okay? I'm not going to. I can't really argue with you because you compare cars to Bitcoin, so it goes really nowhere. So I'm just going to present you with a problem. You got exchanges that you think nobody needs, but you got idiots that you need to get into Bitcoin to further the functionality. You need idiots using it. You need the general consumer using your product. You need the general consumer to buy that baseball glove with Bitcoin. Otherwise, Bitcoin goes nowhere. So you can't think like, oh, well, we don't need exchanges. We can be decentralized. Idiots don't use that.
That's a good way. I would like to distribute Bitcoin out to the people, to the masses. But another avenue that could happen is just the rich people get Bitcoin. The smarter people that see the value in Bitcoin, they save their wealth in Bitcoin. And the idiots or the most common folk, they don't use Bitcoin. And then Bitcoin is just worth, whatever it is in dollar terms, and only the rich people have it. That's another way that it goes.
It's a great currency.
Yeah, I would prefer the people to have it, but you can lead a horse to water. You can't make him drink.
Well, it's proven to be a criminal operation. It's proven to support criminals. It's proven to lose money in exchanges.
Well, Bitcoin's
neutral.
Bitcoin doesn't just support criminals. It's just a tool that criminals have used and potentially continue to use.
Because there's no oversight. There's no preventing it. There's no money laundering laws. There's no Bitcoin doesn't answer to any of that stuff. So what is it? Of course, criminals are going to use it. Because it's a problem looking for a solution.
Humans still have to abide by the laws, though. Code
it's just
is
like
law
the internet
with Bitcoin. It's the code.
No, come on, dude. The software is the easiest thing to change in the world. It's not like a processor. It's not like a physical chip.
If that was true, you would just hack Bitcoin and have all the Bitcoin.
It will happen. It's just a certificate. It will get hacked. But the thing is like you can't just blindly follow this. It's software is the easiest thing to change in the world. It takes one dude 5 minutes.
Do it.
Those 10 dudes, I've already pointed out, those 10 dudes could change it. It could be manipulated by the banking industry to change it, change the amount. And everybody either accepts it or takes the fork. And you just give them a choice and be like, all right, well, You're going to go with this Bitcoin that's the old school Bitcoin that's never going to be accepted anywhere, and it's got a limited supply. You can go with the new Bitcoin that's forked. It's got unlimited supply, but you can use it everywhere.
Yeah. And which one's going to be more valuable and rarer?
Uh,
The original
well,
Bitcoin.
tell that to the NFT guys. The 2 million that what Bieber spent on his lazy monkey.
Well,
right?
we don't want to mix Bitcoin with other cryptos and NFTs.
Well, but history is history, right? So that's one example of where it went to shit. Because back to my point on my video, you said everything is false. I'm about to convert you one more time. What's Bitcoin based on? Nothing. Air. Nothing. Can we agree on that?
It's based on energy. It's energy money.
No, no. It's air. If they stop mining Bitcoins tomorrow, the Bitcoin's gone.
Yeah, well, there's
No,
something called the
no,
difficulty adjustment where it would get
no,
easier and
no.
easier to mine Bitcoin
I'm
to
saying
incentivize people to start mining.
that has happened because Bitcoin's gone in the toilet. Yes. However, it's pretty much gone up since the dawn of Bitcoin in 2008. Now it's gone down because Bitcoin's lost 40%. Okay, good point. But what I'm asking is you say it's based on energy, but what happens if everybody tomorrow stop mining? Nothing. Bitcoin is still there. It still functions, right? We can agree on that. It'll still function if
Well,
nobody's mining.
no blocks would be mined. If everyone stopped mining, then no transactions
Right.
would be confirmed.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So let the miner stop mining, but let the whatever you call those
Nodes?
nodes, yeah, whatever you call it, let those guys still run. I'm just saying, what if nobody mines anymore?
Look, Bitcoin is a human
Bitcoin still
construct.
exists.
The squirrels outside don't use money. Money is for us,
Here
for
we go.
humans.
Here we go with your analogies.
So if we don't
Come on,
use money, then of course it's not worth it.
I'm not saying nobody's using it. I'm saying what happens if they stop mining tomorrow? Just stop mining.
Everyone stops mining.
Yeah.
Then
what happens?
Even me.
Then Bitcoin doesn't change, right? Bitcoin doesn't change. You can still use it. You can still buy stuff with it.
No, you cannot. No, you cannot.
Well, mining is going to have to stop when they reach the 200 or the 20 million or whatever the limit is, right? I'm talking about the node's still there, the network still functions, and nobody mines. What happens tomorrow?
Then no transactions get mined. No blocks come. You need miners to mine the blocks.
No new Bitcoin. No new Bitcoin.
No new Bitcoin and no confirmed transactions.
Okay, you're not really following what I'm saying. Well, you said Bitcoin is based on energy.
That's right.
Because the argument is that I'm saying it's based on nothing.
Right.
It's based on air. But the Bitcoin that are out there, I don't know how many has been mined up to this point. I don't care.
About 20 million.
What I'm saying is if the mining stopped tomorrow, the mining is going to stop when it reaches its fabricated bullshit limit.
It will
continue. Mining will stop.
It will not stop. Why would it stop?
You've already reached your limit. You've already reached the whatever million Bitcoins you can have possibly. What are you going to mine?
Yeah, you won't get the block subsidy. You won't get the block reward for mining a block, but you'll get all the fees for every single transaction inside the block.
So mining's going to stop because the miners don't do it for the transaction fees. They do it for the chance of getting a Bitcoin.
That's right, today. But when that comes in 2140, in the year 2140, when all the Bitcoins will be mined and there will be no more block subsidy, no more new Bitcoin created, then the miners will be getting all the fees for every transaction in the block. And by that time, it'll be extremely valuable. So the fees, the fees will be fine.
Okay, so you've confirmed that Bitcoin is based on nothing.
What do you mean? It's based on energy. So you're trying to say mining will stop, or because
okay, we're right on the precipice of mining stopping. Okay, tomorrow. Per my argument, I say that mining stops when you say the fabricated.
Wait, so you're saying we're about to mine the last coin? Is that what you're saying? Not mining will stop.
So
we're about to mine the last coin.
I can't get through to you. So I have to change my argument, right? So one minute I say mining stops tomorrow.
Well, you have to be right. You can't say mining will stop.
But you said theoretically, right? So mining is almost stopped because they're wasting more electricity than they get from the Bitcoin because of the 40% dip, right? So Mining's almost stopped. They've lowered the difficulty. Those 10 goons in the basement have lowered the difficulty so that mining continues, right? So that's okay. We've got a little bit of a
Well,
symbiosis
it
right
happens
there.
automatically.
But
It's nobody does it. It's based
okay,
on the
but it's
code.
still code and it's still maintained on by those 10 goons. Okay. So those dudes or whatever. So I've had to change my argument because you're not letting me get away with saying that mining stops. You're saying that Bitcoin is based on energy. And what I'm saying is what if you stop mining?
Then
What
Bitcoin
if you
stops.
stop?
Then I can't get a transaction confirmed.
Do
If
you
there's
think
no
that that's
miners, if nobody's mining the
okay?
blocks, then I can't send you any money because it's going to be stuck in the mempool.
So what motivates miners?
Making Bitcoin.
There you go. What if they're no longer making Bitcoin?
They
Because
would.
either electricity is too expensive to justify it, or the bitcoins have been mined already. All the bitcoins are out there in the
Well,
world.
Bitcoin. Well, the cool thing about Bitcoin and humanity and the Earth really is that Bitcoin's going to make electricity abundant and cheaper because now you can go out in the middle of freaking nowhere where you could never go before, get some satellite internet, and use natural resources to mine Bitcoin. Yeah, I know it sounds crazy, right? But it's actually true.
Well, technically, it's what I'm doing at my house right now. I'm off the grid. I'm on solar. I'm off the grid. I'm only
Exactly.
making it because I'm generating too much power during the day. But you know how much Bitcoin I'm mining? 10 cents a day. All right.
Okay.
I'm only doing it because I'm a nerd. Or I'm only doing it because I like the IT.
So
I'm
are
not doing
you
it because I'm gonna make money or I need to waste electricity, basically, is what I'm doing.
So are you
But not
trying to
everybody has
say,
that.
whoa, whoa, are you trying to say that people with abundant energy, excess energy, there's a use case to mine Bitcoin with?
Well, if you got nothing better to do and you don't want to see it wasted. But
All
that's
right,
only
there's a
on
use
only
case
okay.
now. Two use cases: criminal activity and excess energy consumption. All
Well, I
right,
could run my dryer. I could run my dryer too.
but you
So
don't.
what's the
You
thing?
mine Bitcoin instead.
I do run my dryer. But okay, so
Okay.
a use case. I'm solving nothing. I'm doing it because I'm nerding
You're
out. I'm
creating
solving
value for
nothing.
yourself and you're
No, I'm
scratching a
not.
technological curiosity.
Okay, is that okay? But it's just because I'm a nerd.
Hey,
But it's not getting me anywhere. Is it getting me anywhere?
it's
No,
creating
it's
some
still
value for you. 10
it's
cents a day.
ten
It's more
cents.
than zero. But actually,
Yeah.
don't worry about the 10 cents. How many Satoshis? How much Bitcoin are you getting? Because in dollar terms, it's going to be way more. Let's say you're getting 100 Satoshis. Keep accumulating that 200, 300, 1,000 Satoshis. It's going to be worth way more in dollar terms because Bitcoin's getting scarcer and scarcer, and the dollar is inflating and becoming more and more. They're two runaway trains
Those
going in the opposite direction.
those are cool marketing terms.
So hold on to
You
that
got
Bitcoin.
you have been successfully marketed, my friend.
Thank you.
You like the end caps on every aisle in the Walmart, right? If they put it on the end caps, you like to buy it.
The clearance?
No, the end cap, the end of the aisle where it's
That's
where
normally
the
where they put
aisle
the
goes like
clearance,
this.
isn't it?
The aisles go like this, and then the end. That's where the high value. That's where they make all their money. You like the end caps because you like marketing, right? So you've been successfully marketed by the Bitcoin. They've polluted your brain with all these cool terms and the limited supply and all this. You're buying into 100% of that.
Just think about it, man. It makes total sense. Do you
Think
want
about what
dollars that are
it's based on
free
air.
and somebody
You
creates?
haven't you haven't even scratched the surface on most of my topics, and the ones that you have, you've agreed with me that I'm right, even though you said I wasn't. The Bitcoin is based on what a fool is willing to pay you for it. It's not based on energy. The value of Bitcoin is not based anything on to do with energy. And yeah, okay, so some people are mining in their basements. I'm mining on solar. Who gives a shit?
Well,
It's still based on nothing.
how do you make it if it's based on nothing? Can I get free Bitcoin out of the air?
Oh, you can buy it, you can sell drugs apparently and get it.
No, I need
But it's
to
based on
use
nothing.
energy. I need to spend energy.
there's no you've been marketed, man. They're selling you a lie. It takes electricity to make it. Does that mean it's valuable? No. It takes electricity to run my TV. Does that mean there's value in me sitting there? I'm being entertained. But no, it takes electricity to run my dryer. Does that mean it benefits the world? No, it's based on electricity. That doesn't make any sense.
It's just
It's based
one,
on nothing.
just
Tomorrow
one
it could be
thing.
zero and you could say nothing about it. Tomorrow Satoshi sells his 1 million coins, Bitcoin goes to zero, and you could do nothing about it or say nothing about it. It's based on nothing. Unlike stocks, unlike Nvidia, Intel, Microsoft, that's based on a company. Like that's a real investment based on a company that's not going to go to zero.
What's the
Can you
maximum
agree?
number of stocks that Nvidia can create?
I don't know.
Can you send me an Nvidia stock if you had one right now?
Yes,
You could.
I could sell it. I could sell it. Why do I need to send you Nvidia stock? I'm not saying that's a currency. I'm saying that's an investment vehicle, right? What I'm saying is it's based on something. The dollar is based on the fact that the U.S. government can still function. Yeah, it's going to have inflation and it's going to have its problems. I'm not saying it's devoid of any problems. We've already pointed out many problems that Bitcoin has too. It's not devoid of any problems, right? So what I'm saying is you're what is preventing Bitcoin from going to zero?
just think about how
Nothing.
cool Bitcoin is. Me and you, we could be out in the middle.
You didn't answer the
farmland.
question.
Just
You didn't answer the
just
question.
listen to this.
What?
I'm going to tell you what's stopping it from going to
All right.
zero.
All right.
Just think about how cool Bitcoin is. Me and you, we're out, we're chilling. You're out in your farmland in the Philippines. I'm out in the country in America somewhere. We have off grid. We don't even have power, nothing like that. We got solar. We're on our own. We're collecting rainwater. We got solar and we're mining Bitcoin. We could get value on our own terms from the sun with solar, and we could send it to each other with no one in the middle. We don't have to ask permission. No one even has to be involved. That's the invention. That's the cool thing about Bitcoin. That's the amazing thing about Bitcoin. And a lot
That's
more
cool.
people.
You've already pointed that out, and we get that.
So do you think
I
that's
get
cool?
that.
Do you think that's cool?
It's only cool if you're doing legal things. Right?
Okay, but
it's not cool when criminals use it, which is the primary function. Just like the internet, the primary function of the internet is for porn, right? Can we agree on that?
Well,
Okay.
A lot of people. It's probably the most popular thing.
Sure. So the most popular thing to do with Bitcoin is criminal enterprise. Can we agree on that?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know if there's any way to know if it's the most popular.
Exactly. But there's been several that have been busted, so we know that it does happen.
So should porn be illegal?
No, I'm not saying anything. I never said Bitcoin should be illegal.
Oh,
I never. You try to pigeonhole me.
All right, so
we having a
oversight.
debate
Oversight.
Yeah, I mean, like, try to prevent criminal organizations from using, right? So that's my thing. Like you're talking about, oh, you got energy and all this, but you haven't answered the chief question: is what's preventing it from going to zero? I've proposed several possibilities that could go to zero, and you haven't said
I'll tell you
what's
what.
preventing it.
I'll tell you why. The reason why Bitcoin will never go to zero is because it's extremely useful. I could take my excess energy and get this coin, this digital representation on a decentralized network, a permissionless network that no one could tell me nothing about, and I could send it to you whenever the hell I want, 24/7, 365. It's super valuable.
Super useful. Super valuable, super useful, even though you've never sent me any money.
Well, I don't know you. I just met you. And what are you doing for me? We would exchange value.
What? I'm saying, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's super useful. You got one use. Well, you can send money. So what? I can do that with Western Union. What?
Previously, you said that money was like a big thing. Money's a big thing. You're not discounting the height of money, right? Money's awesome. We do everything with money. Money's one half of every single human interaction contract that we make. Any sale, the other half is money. And the Western Union, somebody's in the middle. You got to ask permission. What if they're closed? Bitcoin, self-trust. You don't have to trust. You do it yourself. You living out there with solar, you're going to like Bitcoin. You're going to start using it. You're already mining it. You're already mining it.
You think you got me? You think you got me? But you still didn't answer the question.
No, I can't get you. You have
what happens to
believe
what
it
happens
and
to
want
what
it.
happens to Bitcoin when it goes to zero? And what's preventing it from going to zero? How many coins have gone to zero up to this point?
All of them will go to
Why is
zero.
Bitcoin different? Satoshi is going to sell his 1 million, 1.1 million. It's
Why
going
is
to go to
Bitcoin
zero.
different? Because
It's being
energy,
used.
proof of work.
XRP is being used.
No,
No,
XRP sucks. All these other
it's
coins
based on
suck. They're going to
nothing.
zero. It's only Bitcoin.
Oh my God. So you're okay. It's obvious that your logic is flawed. You're a great guy. Obviously, you know more about Bitcoin than anybody I've probably ever talked to, but your logic is not sound. Um, I've already changed your mind in 3, possibly 4 situations. You want to admit that Bitcoin can go to zero.
We're friends now. You changed my mind. We're buddies.
Yeah, yeah. I don't need to. I don't need to change your mind. I just I feel good about the fact that I've enlightened you a little bit.
Well, thank
You
you.
haven't enlightened me, unfortunately, but that's because these are core arguments that are really not challengeable. You can't say that criminal organizations don't use it. You can't say that it's not going to zero. You can't say that Satoshi's basically got his finger on the pulse, and if he sells, it's
All
whatever.
these
You
what
can't say that
ifs.
all electricity's no. Those are not what ifs. It's a fact.
Well,
It's a
you're
fact
saying
that
what
he's
if
holding.
Satoshi sells, right? So all these
That's
what
a
ifs that
fact.
you're
He's
putting
holding
out
it.
there, let me just counter those what ifs, right?
Well, okay. Go ahead. Counter.
What if he doesn't sell?
It's a liability. It's a liability.
It's a risk,
So
sure.
if you want to get insurance for Bitcoin, you talk to an insurance company, or they're going to be like, all right, well, what assurance do we have that Bitcoin's not going to go to zero? And then they see Satoshi holding 1.1 million, they're going to be like, none. We don't know this guy. We have no way of contacting this guy. We don't know where his thing is. If he decides to sell everything, it's going to zero. Insurance companies are going to tell you to get bent.
Yeah, but the thing is, we don't want insurance. All we want to do is have something
No,
that
I'm just
we
saying, like,
could
they
send peer to
operate. I'm
peer.
using
We want to get
yours
rid of
yours
insurance
no.
companies. We want to get rid of authorities. That's the whole
What I'm
point of
saying
Bitcoin.
is
Get it
what I'm
rid of the
saying is
man in the middle.
okay, cool. What I'm You're not getting my core argument. My core argument is insurance companies are professionals at looking at liability. Okay. They're professionals at that. It could be any kind of insurance. I hate insurance too.
Right, they're
Part of the reason
leeches.
I'm in the Philippines, I have no insurance here. Okay. So the point is if an insurance company looks at Bitcoin as an investment vehicle and they see that, they're gonna be like, no, we're not touching that. It's based on
Good.
nothing. Satoshi could come up tomorrow and whatever. So you're not what I'm trying to get through to you is you're not using logic. You're not using proper logic. You're not using proper risk acceptance and tolerance.
Because you're looking at
To
Bitcoin as an institutional investment. Who cares about an institutional investment? Bitcoin's for the people.
So you're okay with it going to zero? All your Bitcoin goes to zero. You're okay with that? Because I'm okay with it. I could give 2 shits.
Of course not. I wouldn't want it to go to zero, but
Okay,
that's not how
but you're not functioning in a correctly logical means. You're not looking at it from a liability perspective.
because
Would
I'm
you
not
agree?
looking to gain more dollars with my Bitcoin. See, that's not the
But
point. It's not to
but
eventually
I'm
trade
not
it.
talking about gaining. You're holding, right? You're holding. If you had Bitcoin, you would be holding.
Right.
I'm not talking about gaining. I'm talking about your liability of holding.
What? What happens? So if
What?
Satoshi sells his 1 million Bitcoin, how many Bitcoin do I lose when that happens?
I don't know. It depends on if you sell. Are you going to sell?
Exactly. Oh, damn. They cut us again. No, I'm not going to sell. It's because oh, man. All right. They cut us again, man. Zoom. They're busting us up. No, Bitcoin's not a trade to gain more dollars. Bitcoin is a tool to be used inside the Bitcoin network. You use it for what it is. You save your wealth. You transact peer to peer. You don't look for an exit. All right, I guess we might have to do part 3. Thanks for watching, y'all.